everyone and Assalamualaikum. Today I am going to present about my poster project for assignment 1. My name is Nuradil Hanis binti Yunus. My mentor number is 083885 and I will be discussing the impact of fiscal and monetary policies on economic performance of Indonesia. Let's start with question 1. Looking at the foundation profile of Indonesia. Geography. Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country in the world. With over 17,000 islands, it has great strategic value because it controls global trade routes like a Malacca Strait, and it is very rich in natural resources like nickel, coal and oil. GDP is the largest economy in the Southeast Asia and a member of G20. And right now, its normally GDP is over $1.3, maintaining a very stable growth rate around 5.0%. For population and income, Indonesia has a massive population, about 280 million people, giving it a young workforce. It is an upper middle income nation with a per capita income of around $4,900 through regional equality still exists between Java and outer islands. Inflation. The current inflation rate is stable, kept between 2.5% to 3.5%. The main pressure comes from supply side shocks like food prices and food charges. Unemployment. The national open unemployment rate is around 4.8% to 5.3%. A major challenge here is a youth unemployment and the fact that more than 55% of the workforce operates in the formal sector. Moving on to the question 2. What is the difference between economic growth and economic development? Economic growth is a narrow, quantitative. It just looks at the percentage increase in a country's real GDP over time, simply expanding market output. And economic development is a much more broader qualitative concept. It looks beyond GDP and focus on structural changes, better quality of life, poverty reduction, and improvement of healthcare. Now, let's look at the real-world example in Indonesia. A growth example is the rapid expansion of Indonesia nickel processing and smelting industry, which directly pushes the GDP growth rate to 5%. A development example is the government social programs like the Smart Indonesian Card and Healthy Indonesian Card. This initiative directly improve literacy and healthcare for low-income families, raising the Human Development Index. Previous studies strongly support this, showing that while resources extraction helps short-term growth, social spending drive through long-term development. Now let's look at the question 3, which cover how fiscal and monetary policy works to control the economy. Fiscal policy is managed by Ministry of Finance and focus on the government spending taxes. Monetary policy is handled by Bank Indonesia and focus on managing the money supply. How do they overcome inflation and unemployment? To overcome employment, the government use fiscal policy to increase capital expenditure. This means putting money into large labor-intensive public infrastructure projects to create immediate jobs. To overcome inflation, Bank Indonesia used monetary policy to increase the cost of borrowing by raising interest rate. This cool downs the incentive market spending and stabilize the prices. Finally, for question 4, Indonesia faces 4 major challenges in its economic journey. Number 1 is infrastructure gaps. Economic activities and wealth are heavily concentrated on Java Island, leaving outer island with a high logistic and transportation costs. Number 2 is a skill mismatch. Indonesia risks getting stuck in the middle income trap because there is a gap between what graduates learn and what modern technical industry actually needs.